External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar on a visit to the Maldives hands over 1 lakh additional doses of COVID-19 vaccines. Maldives Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid says India and Maldives work together in harmony and same interest, aiming to reach the same destination. Ongoing protests in Myanmar take violent turn as 2 protesters die in police firing on Saturday, taking total number of protesters killed in Myanmar to 3. Protesters take to streets at many places across the country, with various sections of society demanding an end to military rule. U.S. President Joe Biden approves a major disaster declaration for Texas as the state struggles with the fallout from a winter storm that killed at least 24 people and caused widespread blackouts and water shortages. The move makes federal funding available to affected individuals, including assistance for temporary housing and home repairs and low-cost loans. Back home, Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend the meeting of Bharatiya Janata Party national office bearers in New Delhi today. All state chiefs and general secretaries to attend the meet. Over 1 crore 8 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in India so far. Surge in COVID-19 cases recorded in Maharashtra and Kerala, with over 6,000 new cases reported in Maharashtra in the last 24 hours. In sports, Japanese Naomi Osaka lifts Australian Open women's singles title, beats first-time finalist Jennifer Brady 6-4, 6-3 in straight sets. In men's singles final, top seed Novak Djokovic to take on Dmitry Medvedev today. In cricket, Surya Kumar Yadav, Ishan Kishan and Rahul Tewatia are named in India's squad for 5-match T20I series against England. Rohit Sharma, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Rishabh Pant and Varun Chakravarti return to the fold. Very good morning, I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Let's start with our top story. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is in Maldives on a 2-day bilateral visit. He handed over 1 lakh additional doses of COVID-19 vaccine to Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid. Several agreements were exchanged between the two countries, including fish processing, public broadcasting, sustainable urban development, road infrastructure and housing, and addressing
from fish processing to defense, from building roads to constructing housing, from public broadcasting to airport expansion and connectivity. The range of areas we are working on will further translate into reality the common vision of our leaders, Prime Minister Modi and President Solih. We jointly reviewed the ongoing Indian infrastructure projects on the 2 lines of credit worth $1.2 billion. The contract for one of the most important infrastructure projects for the construction of roads in Addu has been finalized and I believe will be signed tomorrow. This will bring tangible benefits to the people of Addu and transform lives and livelihoods in the south of Maldives. India is indeed honored to partner with Maldives in the prestigious Greater Malay Connectivity Project, the largest connectivity project ever in the Maldives. Other projects like water and sanitation for 34 islands across the archipelago, Hanimadu Airport expansion, development of the Gulifalu port, cricket stadium at Holumhale are all progressing well. Needless to say, these projects will conform to the hallmarks of Indian development cooperation, which are transparency, full participation and ownership of the host country and competitive pricing.
Right, in addressing a joint press conference, External Affairs Minister said that even during the COVID-19 pandemic, India continued assisting Maldives. India is also pushing for increased participation of Maldives at multilateral fora.
at post-COVID economic recovery, a key priority of the Maldivian government. Even while our borders were closed due to the pandemic, we continued to make special openings for our Maldivian friends for humanitarian cases like medical emergencies and education. In today's globalized and interconnected world, multilateral engagement is also very important. We have always been supportive of the larger participation of Maldives in various multilateral fora. By joining the Indian Ocean Regional Association, rejoining the Commonwealth, and playing a greater role in the United Nations, Maldives has demonstrated its value in the Committee of Nations.
And Maldives Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid compared India-Maldives relations to the synchronized motion of two wings of a bird. Delivering his speech in Hindi, the Maldivian minister said both India and Maldives are working in harmony with the same interest, aiming to reach the same destination. He also said that the two countries are connected to each other and have historical, cultural and strong ties.
उड़ान में एक पक्षी एक पर नहीं बल्कि दो पंखों के साथ टीका रहता है। महामाहिम हमारे दो देश उन पंखों की तरह है। हम भी एकता में समान हितों के लिए एक साथ मिलकर काम करते हैं और एक ही मंजिल तक पहुंचने का लक्ष्य रखते हैं। हम जाने पहचाने रास्तों के साथ साथ नए रास्तों पर भी मिलकर चलते हैं। हम एक साथ और भी नई ऊंचाइयों को छूते हैं।
India has offered a $40 million US line of credit to the Maldives in a bid to boost the sports infrastructure of the country. And speaking at an event at Ekoveni Stadium in Male, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said that India acknowledges the high priority accorded by President Ibrahim Mohammed Solih to sports, and India is privileged to be a partner in that effort.
This modern running track and playground is a very good example of the high quality social infrastructure that is today being created in the Maldives under Indian development assistance. Fastest man in South Asia, Hassan Said, is also a proud Maldivian who's received, we are glad to say, training in India. A remarkable achievement for a country which in a sense is more water than land. And I'm confident that you will create new records in the IOIG scheduled to be held in Maldives in 2025. India has offered a standalone line of credit of $40 million for sports infrastructure in the Maldives. This new LOC, we hope, will be signed soon after the formalities are complete. This funding is neither for a specific sport nor for a specific island. It is for multiple sports facilities across the islands so that as large a number of our friends in Maldives can benefit as possible.
An External Affairs Minister said that Maldives received India-made vaccines within 96 hours of vaccine rollout in India itself. He added that the two countries will emerge with a stronger partnership than ever before.
Maldives received India-made vaccines within 96 hours of the vaccine rollout in India itself. Today again, I have carried with me another 100,000 doses of COVID vaccine on behalf of the government and people of India. I'm confident that when we emerge from the pandemic, we will emerge together with our partnership stronger than ever before. While our bilateral relations are multifaceted, a key dimension is that India is a trusted and reliable development partner. India's development assistance is aimed at supporting the aspirations of the youth in Maldives. It is helping the government of Maldives in building infrastructure, broadening the economic base, and making the economy more robust and resilient.
Right, to talk more on this, my colleague Abhishek Jha is joining us live. Very good morning, Abhishek. Give us a sense of the schedule today of the External Affairs Minister, and he'll hold talks with several other political leaders in the country and review the entire gamut of the bilateral ties.
Of course, Abhishek, and he's going to meet Ibrahim Soli, the president of Maldives, Mohammad Nasheed, the Speaker of Parliament. He has met Abdul Allah Shahid, the Foreign Minister of Maldives also, and during the talks, during every talk, the External Affairs Minister has actually conveyed India's willingness to assist Maldives in its holistic development. We have seen that during the time of COVID pandemic also, India was one of the key provider of assistance to Maldives in terms of medical aid, medical goods, medicine, medical expertise. Even the doctors were also sent over to give training and help Maldivian health workers to assist in dealing with the COVID pandemic. India had also evacuated few Maldivian students from China through the special Air India flight that were sent to bring in more Indian students stuck in China. So in all, during the last 8-10 months, India has shown all the humanitarian assistance and as a friend, as a partner that it can to Maldives. And this visit that External Affairs Minister is taking is one of the visit of this year that he has tried to take to this Indian Ocean region country. And with this, he has also sent a clear message that India is actually very concerned to the development, to the total overall development of all its neighbors, all its friends, all its partners. And no matter what the size is, like because Maldives is a small island nation, still India would like to have it a very developed nation. And unless until those nations are developed, India would not consider its development a complete story.
Absolutely, like Abhishek, you mentioned that India is also concerned about their neighbors, including Maldives. And this visit also, Abhishek, is the testimony to that India attaches its close and friendly relations with Maldives.
Of course, Abhishek, and see, this is not just the Indian aid only. India is also trying to, like the External Affairs Minister has announced like the $40 million of credit line assistance for the special holistic stadium, sports stadium facility. Earlier also during this COVID pandemic time, India has extended $250 million assistance so that Maldives could deal with the economic crisis that has come because of the corona pandemic. Earlier also India has helped making the sports academy in Maldives, the cricket stadium in Maldives. Also, the urban development, so many urban development facilities has been created with India's assistance. Maldivian students get easy visa and facility to study in India. India, for that matter, from the perspective of an Indian, India has been one of the key tourist destination is Maldives. So many people flow from India to Maldives for their vacations. And so that also adds a lot to in the Maldives economy. And we have also seen that Abdullah Shahid was addressing the press conference in Hindi. This is not the first time that he was doing it. He has earlier also done press conferences or his addresses in Hindi. And that is in a way try to connect with the Indian audience, because when he's speaking in Hindi and this is playing on several television medium and audio medium, in India, people would, of course, the more and more people will listen to him, more and more reachable he becomes to the Indian audience. And this is a way to try to connect with the people, because the government-to-government tie is understandably a lot more strategic, defense cooperation, economic cooperation. But unless until people-to-people connect also happens, this story of friendship and this story of partnership remains incomplete. So now it seems that both the countries are also trying to create people-to-people connect very strong, so that both sides get benefited from each other's also.
Absolutely, India is privileged to be a partner in that effort. That's what External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you for giving us those vital inputs. Moving further, Bangladesh Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen hailed Bangladesh-India relations. In an exclusive conversation with DD India, the Bangladesh FM described the relations as rock solid, adding that they attained new heights under the new leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Speaking to Prasar Bharati special correspondent Rajesh Jha in Dhaka about the 50 years of relationship between the two countries, he said 18 events are being organized all across the world.
Bangladesh and India, we have a rock-solid relationship. We have a blood relationship. India helped us a lot during our war of independence, and ever since India and Bangladesh is good friend. And we consider the contribution of India, and also and their sacrifice along with us. Always we remember it. And with the new government in India, Modi government, it has went up to a new height.
Marking a violent turn in the ongoing protest movement in Myanmar, 2 protesters were killed in police firing in second largest city of Mandalay on Saturday. Earlier, 1 young student died on Friday after she was injured 10 days back in police firing in the capital city of Naypyidaw. With the latest deaths, the number of protesters killed in Myanmar agitation has gone up to 3. The military government also claimed that a policeman had been killed after he was injured by protesters. Moving on, U.S. President Joe Biden has approved a major disaster declaration for Texas as the state struggles with the fallout from a winter storm that killed at least 24 people and caused widespread blackouts and water shortages. Millions of residents in the United States' biggest oil and gas producer have had to contend with the days of electricity outages, and nearly half of all Texans are still suffering from disruptions to their water service. The action by the Biden administration makes federal funding available to affected individuals, including assistance for temporary housing and home repairs and low-cost loans. The U.S. President is also expected to visit Texas to survey the federal response to the first new crisis to develop since he took office a month ago. Meanwhile, Texas Governor Greg Abbott thanked the president for approving the major disaster declaration, saying in a statement that it was an important first step. And in the latest fallout from a crippling winter storm, more than 14 million Texans had to endure disrupted water service, leaving many longing for a hot shower just as the state's power grid jerked back to life after 5 days of blackouts. Bitter cold weather and snow have paralyzed Texas since Sunday, shutting down much of the state's electricity grid and freezing pipes and waterways, leaving communities across the state either without water altogether or forced to boil it for safety. Although all the state's power plants were functioning again, more than 1,95,000 homes still remained without electricity, and residents of 160 of Texas' 254 counties had water service disruptions. Officials say that nearly 24 deaths have been attributed to the cold snap. But even as services in many neighborhoods return, broken pipes and other damage continue to render some homes uninhabitable. In parts of the state, frozen roads remain impassable. Iced down lines and other issues had utility workers scrambling to reconnect homes to power. Hospitals in some hard-hit areas ran out of water and transferred patients elsewhere. Texas Governor Greg Abbott confirmed that all power generating plants were online as of Thursday afternoon. He urged lawmakers to pass legislation to ensure the grid was prepared for cold weather in the future. Meanwhile, New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez visited the Houston Food Bank on Saturday after raising over $3 million in aid for Texas, crippled by a winter storm that left millions without power or water. Ocasio-Cortez urged that we need to rally around this state together and need to rally federal support for Texans and the state of Texas. She also said it should be made sure that short and long-term policy decisions are taken keeping in mind this kind of devastation.
When you have a disaster like this, it can just set people back for years, not just for days. And so we have tragedy in this state. We need to rally around the state. We need to rally federal support for Texans and the state of Texas. And we need to make sure that we make short and long-term policy decisions so that this kind of devastation, preventable devastation, never happens again.
Back home now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address a meeting of Bharatiya Janata Party national office bearers in New Delhi today. Apart from the national office bearers, state in charge and co-in charge and state chiefs will participate in the meeting. The meeting will be held to take stock of party's prospects and resources ahead of the upcoming polls in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry, Assam and West Bengal. This is the first physical meeting of the national office bearers who were appointed last year after BJP Nadda took over as party president. No physical meeting could be held so far due to COVID-19 pandemic. From West Bengal now, West Bengal BJP has written to the Election Commission of India and Union Home Minister to take action against All India Trinamool Congress government on the attack on party's Parivartan Yatra. In a letter to the poll panel and the Home Minister, BJP also highlighted inaction of the local police administration. The party even asked to transfer superintendents of police of North 24 Parganas for failure on his part for not taking steps towards safety and security of the participants of Parivartan Yatra. BJP has sought for deployment of honest and neutral officers to conduct peaceful and fair assembly elections in West Bengal, which is due in the coming months. Right, to talk more on this, our correspondent Rajiv Bhattacharya is joining us on phone line from Kolkata. Rajiv, Bengal BJP has written to the Election Commission of India and also the Home Minister on the attack and on its Parivartan Yatra and pinning it on the Trinamool Congress goons and inaction of the local police and administration.
Yes, right. Yesterday this incident happened when this Parivartan Yatra was passing through a village called Kush Angra, which is under the Minaka police station in Vashirhat. It's rather a remote area of North 24 Parganas. The last car of the convoy was attacked. People threw stones and apparently some bombs were hurled. What is the point to be noted here is that even though there was this Parivartan Yatra, there was hardly any policemen around to give it some kind of protection, as it were, since there's a procession going on. And therefore, this incident, but of course, immediately after that, a huge police force arrived at the spot and brought the situation under control. But what is to be noted, the point to be noted here is that the central paramilitary forces have already started arriving in the state, even before the declaration of the election dates. Therefore, and as they keep on coming and keep fanning out into different parts of the state, hopefully incidents such as these will go down. Abhishek.
But Rajiv, this has been very frequent these days now. A few days ago also we saw the political violence, but again this has reached a new level ahead of the Bengal Assembly polls.
Yes, you're right. The violence has apparently become very high, but on the other hand, apart from the indication of the lack of law and order, if one looks at it politically, one would perhaps incline to say that there is a sense of desperation in some political quarters as to the response and the rising popularity of another party. So that is also an indication, and therefore it is a pointer to the way the things might go when the polls come calling, Abhishek.
Right, and BJP has sought for deployment of honest and neutral officers too. Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you for talking to us. And now an update on COVID-19 vaccination from across the country. The cumulative number of COVID-19 vaccine doses administered to healthcare and frontline workers has crossed 1.08 crore in the country. A total of 1,38,323 vaccine doses have been given through 2,29,462 sessions as per the provisional report till 6 p.m. on Saturday. These include 63,52,713 healthcare workers who have taken the first dose and 8,73,940 healthcare workers who have taken the second dose, along with 36,11,670 frontline workers who received the first dose. While the countrywide vaccination drive was rolled out on 16 January 2021, vaccination of the frontline workers started from 2nd February 2021. 12 states and union territories have vaccinated more than 75% of the registered healthcare for the first dose. And India's present active caseload now consists of 1.30% of India's total positive cases. India's total active caseload is pegged at 1,43,127 as per the latest update. Some states are seeing an upsurge in daily new cases, and there has been rise in daily cases in Kerala, Maharashtra, Punjab, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. Kerala continues to report high number of daily new cases, and in the last 7 days, Chhattisgarh has also seen a rise in daily active new cases. Over 1.06 crore people have recovered so far, and India's recovery rate at 97.27% is amongst the highest in the world. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu extended greetings to people of the country on International Mother Language Day. Taking to Twitter, the Vice President wrote, and I quote, "My greetings on International Mother Language Day. Linguistic diversity has always been one of the foundational pillars of our civilization. More than just a means of communication, our mother languages connect us with our heritage and define our socio-cultural identity." In another tweet, the Vice President urged people to promote the use of mother tongue in all spheres of life and encourage the creative expression of their thoughts and ideas in their own languages. Sports news now. Japan's Naomi Osaka cemented her place as the outstanding star of the women's singles game by beating American Jennifer Brady in the Australian Open final to win her 4th Grand Slam title. Osaka has remained unbeaten in major finals after Saturday's 6-4, 6-3 win in Melbourne. Osaka edged the first set when Brady, in her first Grand Slam final, paid for some glaring errors in the final game. The third seed seized control from that point, racing 4-0 ahead in the second set before sealing a deserved victory. Osaka has now won 2 Australian Open titles after also triumphing at Melbourne Park in 2019, with her other Grand Slam successes coming at the U.S. Open in 2018 and 2020. She has not suffered a defeat since February 2020 after winning her past 20 matches. And the men's singles final, world number 1 and defending champion Novak Djokovic will take on Dmitry Medvedev today, and the match will start at 2 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Cricket now. Suryakumar Yadav, Ishan Kishan and Rahul Tewatia on Saturday earned their maiden India call-up for next month's 5-match T20I series against England as the selectors rewarded them for their stellar performances in the IPL. Wicketkeeper batsman Rishabh Pant, all-rounder Akshar Patel and fast bowler Bhuvneshwar Kumar also returned to a fresh-looking squad. The selectors named a 19-man squad for the series starting March 12 in Ahmedabad with an aim to try out new faces such as Ishan Kishan, Suryakumar Yadav and Rahul Tewatia in a World Cup year. And not to forget, all three had a stellar IPL, though Suryakumar Yadav has formed the backbone of Mumbai Indians batting over the years. Mystery spinner Varun Chakravarti, who missed the Australian series due to an injury, has also been named in the team. Well, that's all we have in this news bulletin. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.